Disney just confirmed that Zootopia 3 is happening, and the post-credit scenes revealed something that would change the entire franchise. This time, birds are coming. But before we reveal the major moves, do give us a sub if you enjoy our videos about leaks about movies and celebrities. Why a sequel? Before we dive deep into what Zootopia 3 will be all about, we need to understand why the sequel was inevitable from the moment Zootopia 2's opening weekend numbers came in. The second film didn't just succeed the first one, it destroyed records in ways that were almost unimaginable. This made the third installment of the film a must. Zootopia 2 earned over $1.46 billion globally by the end of 2025, officially surpassing even some of the biggest movies like Frozen 2 to become the highest-grossing film in Walt Disney Animation Studios history. Just read that again. It beat Frozen 2, which almost seemed unbeatable because the audience is just way too big for that movie. A sequel crossed over $1 billion worldwide in under 2 weeks, making it one of the fastest animated films ever to reach that milestone. It had the largest global opening week for an animated film in history. In China alone, it generated over $500 million. These aren't just good numbers, they are record-breaking, franchise-defining Disney boardroom meetings. So when a movie performs at this level, Disney doesn't just think about whether to make another one. They ask about how fast we can get this one into production, and what we do to make it the biggest hit in the entire world, surpassing Zootopia 2. Then, in December 2025, Bush and Howard participated in a Q&A on Weibo where they were asked directly about Zootopia 3. Their responses actually confirmed what everyone suspected. When asked when Zootopia 3 is coming, Bush said, "We waited 9 years for the second one," and joked that Brian is lazy and he likes to take his time. Howard even acknowledged that "I do like to take it slow, but 9 years wasn't too long. We promise the next one won't take this long." Bush then revealed the crucial timeline that confirmed everything. He said that it would definitely last until next year, and that they are currently in the idea exploration phase, which usually takes 2 to 3 years of a 5-year production cycle. So let's do the math. If they're in early idea exploration as of late 2025, and the standard production cycle can run around 5 years, that basically puts Zootopia 3's release somewhere around 2030, which is still a decent wait considering only 4 years are left. However, this is dramatically shorter than the 9-year gap between the first 2 films. Bush even explained that their approach to creating Disney animation films was that it takes them about 5 years to make one of their films, so they need to have ideas that they are passionate about. These are ideas that they would want to stick with and go through the different iterations of the movies. He even said that he knows what the next 10 years of Disney animation looks like, and it's really exciting. The last line is quite crucial here, because Bush knows what the next decade looks like. In other words, Zootopia 3 is part of that timeline, and Disney has already mapped out the future. This franchise is the cornerstone of it. The post-credit scene. If you have seen Zootopia 3, you know for a fact that it just doesn't end the story completely. At the end of the second film, you can see that Judy was in her apartment when a bird feather fell down, and this made a lot of people think that Zootopia 3 will be about birds. This wasn't accidental because in an interview with Screen Rant, Bush addressed the post-credit scenes carefully along with the producer. Basically, they said that Zootopia was always created as an area on a continent in a world, so if we think about it that way, we just never know what's going to happen. There are endless stories we can tell in Zootopia's world. However, Bush gave an even more direct answer during the Kaboo Q&A when he was asked about Zootopia 3 being confirmed to be about birds. He responded, "Good catch. We've explored reptiles in the second movie, and since the bird feather appears at the end of Zootopia 2, I definitely say it means something." If we translate his statement, we can say that yes, Zootopia 3 is about birds, and they're not even trying to hide it anymore. See how Disney has developed a pattern over the years. It was in Zootopia, if we look at what the Zootopia franchise has done so far. The first film focused on the tension between predators and prey, which was specifically about the discrimination against foxes like Nick. This was the central conflict, and was the predator-prey relationship between mammalian species that have historically feared each other. The second film expanded the world of animals and even included reptiles. Gary D. Snake became the central character, and we learned that reptiles had been expelled from Zootopia generations ago due to a single lie. The entire entire sequel explored the theme of justice, historical wrongs, and even welcoming back a marginalized group. Now, we might be getting birds. This is due to the pattern being clear. Each film introduces a new animal class and explores different social dynamics. This approach keeps the world feeling fresh while maintaining the franchise's core theme over generations. But here's what makes birds particularly interesting. Because they would represent the first animal group capable of true flight within the city ecosystem. Zootopia's architecture, transportation system, and social structures have been designed for all the animals that are on the ground. So, how does a city that is built for something like rabbits, foxes, or elephants accommodate eagles, hummingbirds, and even ostriches? It would be interesting to see. Animal groups that aren't explored. Beyond birds, there are several animal groups that haven't even appeared in Zootopia yet. For example, fish and all marine mammals are absolutely absent. When you look at Zootopia, you think about where the whales, the dolphins, and the octopuses are, and whether they have their own underwater cities. Or maybe there is an entire oceanic civilization where land-dwelling mammals don't exist. Insects and bugs haven't even been shown, either, given that insects outnumber mammals in the real world. Their absence from Zootopia raises questions about whether they're too small to be sentient in this universe, or maybe they live in their separate micro-cities. Maybe the studio deliberately excluded them for some narrative reason. Domesticated animals like dogs and cats are another huge mark in the real world. Humans bred dogs and cats for specific purposes, but humans don't exist in Zootopia, so what's the status of those species? Disney wants to keep this franchise. There is material for even 5 film series, and each installment could focus on different animal groups, expanding the world while exploring new themes. But there are many theories that are lying around too. Before we talk about the big theory that's revolving around the internet, please subscribe to our channel if you enjoy the content so far. The Sky City Theory. This theory includes an airborne metropolis where birds live together. This makes narrative sense for several reasons. It mirrors how reptiles in Zootopia 2 lived outside the main city in a separate settlement. If mammals expelled reptiles, it's logical that birds might also have their own territory, especially since flying gives them a unique mobility. A sky city allows Disney to create stunning new environments. Just imagine floating platforms, wind current highways, and nests with unique designs, along with vertical skyscapes designed for creatures that don't even need to touch the ground. The visual possibilities are endless. It also creates natural conflict. If birds have been living separately from mammals, what happens when the two groups need to interact? There might be new predators. There might be predation existing between land dwellers and sky dwellers. What happens if birds want to move to Zootopia or mammals want to access the Sky City? The filmmakers love to tackle real-world social issues by using animal language. A bird civilization separate from mammals could represent segregation, immigration debates, or even class divisions. It could even talk about the complexity of wars that are ongoing. Judy and Nick. The next question or theory fans have is whether Judy and Nick will finally be together. Will Disney finally make them a romantic partner, or will they remain platonic friends? Zootopia also tested the waters by having them go undercover as a couple early in the film. They pretend to be married and even act like they have a child while investigating a smuggling operation. The anteater even asked a bunny and a fox together. This line is an accident. Disney was testing the audience's reaction to the idea of an interspecies couple. Here is the thing. Most fans loved it. The chemistry between Judy and Nick has always been the franchise's emotional core, while also being the central point. Making them an official couple is complicated because Judy is a rabbit and Nick is a fox. In the real world, foxes eat rabbits, while the Zootopia universe has moved past predator-prey violence for the most part. The interspecies relation angle remains potentially controversial. If Disney does go towards the romantic route in Zootopia 3, it would tie directly into the franchise's theme. The first film asks, can predators and prey even be friends? A romantic relationship would ask, can they be more than friends? And can they even build families? How would the families look? And what new species would be found? There are so many interesting questions that just don't make sense. It's also worth noting that Bush described exploring what will happen to Judy and Nick next, as they are excited to think about that. Feeling suggests that there would be significant character development, possibly even including romance between them. The plot. This begs the question, What could we expect in the plot? You see, every Zootopia film focuses on a mystery that Judy and Nick must solve. In the first film, predators were disappearing, and in the second, someone stole Zootopia's most important historical book. What could be the crime for the third one? Given that birds are the focus, the crime would most likely involve them somehow. Perhaps there will be a bird leader who was murdered, and Judy and Nick would need to navigate to the Sky City to solve the case. Maybe their valuable eggs or artifacts would be stolen, and perhaps there's a conspiracy to prevent birds from integrating into Zootopia. This interesting possibility is that the crime connects the Zootopias we learned about in the second and the first film. And we also think that what if birds were also wrong during Zootopia's founding? What if there's a deeper conspiracy on how the city came into being? These are the scenes we can expect from the next movie, but it is surely based on a specific crime, villain, and plot mechanics that are still being figured out. Do you think Zootopia 3 will explore the bird world, or will it remain in the original Zootopia city? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and ring the bell icon for more.